Welcome back, traders, to my market outlook on index futures for the week of December 29th. So it is the last week of the year, and just like last week, we are going to have a short week because we have New Year on Wednesday. So I want to start by taking a look at the economic calendar. And as you can see on Monday, we could have some volatility Monday morning with Chicago PMI, but do keep an eye on the economic calendar because we saw that last week, Thursday, we did have some news, but the news was pulled the day of. So because of that, it signaled to me that we didn't want to do a lot on Thursdays. And as you can see, once we get into the charts, that we did have a lackluster day on Thursday. Speaking of lackluster, I see that Tuesday there's not much going on, and of course Wednesday we have the holiday. So I'm thinking people are probably still on vacation from Christmas till the new year, so there probably won't be much going on the first half of the week. But then Thursday I can see that we do have high impact news with the initial jobless claim at 8:30, and then 10 o'clock we have ISM manufacturing PMI. And then looking at Friday, we do have a couple high impact news as well. So Thursday and Friday, I'm thinking those are the days where we could have some potential volatility. Now going into the charts, I'm going to start with S&P on the daily chart. Now there are some sell side liquidity below these lows right here, but like I said last week, I thought it was a higher probability that we were going to rally up back into this daily SIBI, which we did get. So I want to zoom in here and keep in mind last week was a short week, so I'm only looking at the most recent 4 candles. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we did get a rally up. We created a daily fair value gap, and then we dipped down on Friday below this fair value gap. And you can see that we created a swing high here. We did wick down, and then we closed within the daily SIBI, but below this daily BISI here. So I'm looking at this daily BISI as an inversion BISI, and we'll go down into the hourly chart, the 4-hour chart, to get a closer look on what I'm thinking this week, but I am gonna think that we're gonna go in with a bearish bias. Going down to the 4-hour time frame, I am coming in with a bearish bias. We could take out this swing low down here, but I think because of the holiday week, I'm going to be a little bit safer and just aim for this swing low down here. It's relatively close to the dip that we recently have, so these are kind of relative lows. I think going for this one is a safe bet. This is going to be my target going into this week. Also note that we do have S&T divergence between S&P and Nasdaq. You'll see that Nasdaq was not able to create a higher high, so this kind of signals to me that there could be some accumulation of shorts on Nasdaq. Now, recently we did create 2 4-hour fair value gaps. I'm not too concerned with this lower one. I'm going to keep my attention on this upper one, but what I'm thinking is we could come up into one of these fair value gaps and then start heading for our sell side target. Now, the reason why I'm not too concerned about this lower one because it's much smaller. I'm looking for this one. It's much bigger. Also, it lines up with that daily inversion BISI. And also, you can see that we do have the swing low here within the fair value gap. So a lot of key levels in this area. So I'm thinking price could come back up just to illustrate it. Could come back up into this area, and since I'm thinking Monday, Tuesday, we may just not have too much movement. We could kind of consolidate here a little bit, and then I'm thinking after the new year on Thursday or Friday, we will come down to take the sell side target, and then it's a question of are we going to keep going down below here? But I think what's more likely is we may just return back into the range, and then probably save this for a later target. Okay, so now going into Nasdaq, this is the weekly chart. I'm going to jump down into the daily, but the one thing I want to note is this weekly fair value gap right here. And other than that, I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into the daily chart. And zooming in, you can see that we do have a build of sell side liquidity below this low here, and just like S&P, we do have relative lows right here. I think these are reasonable targets to aim for, although it is quite far from where we're at. So if you look at this wick, half of this wick, this could also be a pretty decent target as well. So looking further in, we can see that we did rally last week into this large SIBI, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just like S&P, we created a daily fair value gap, and then Friday we went down below it. We closed within the large SIBI, but we did close below the daily BISI. So I'm looking at this as an inversion fair value gap as well. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the 4-hour chart to get a closer look. Okay, now zooming in, I know there's a lot going on, but let's first talk about the decline on Friday from this high to this low. If you take your Fibonacci line retracement here, you can see that we have the optimal trade entry retracement there between these two orange lines, which is right in this the daily inversion fair value gap that I was saying. So we could look for a retracement back into this area. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this up a little bit, and this is what I'm thinking of. Similar for S&P, I think we can come back into this inversion, and I'm thinking, Monday and Tuesday, we're not gonna get too much. So wait till after the new year, and then look for the drop down for the sell side below these two relative lows. And then, of course, the same thing before. It could go up or down from here. I'm just going to say that we're going to retrace back up. I think that makes a little bit more sense because it is kind of the beginning and the start of the year. There may not be a little bit too much volatility from the start of the year. So I think it's more likely that we're just going to take the sell side here and then retrace back up a little bit more. Although if we do get really animated, we could come down to half of that wick or even below these two relative lows, but maybe I'm thinking that's going to be saved for a later target. But right now, this is what I'm looking for, just some sort of lower time frame shift, and then going to be looking for this leg down below the sell side. And then after that, I'm going to be hands off. I mean, it could go up or down from there, but I think we'll take it one step at a time. So those are my thoughts for this week. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you were able to take something away today. Remember, we do have a short holiday week, so I don't blame you if you do decide to take some time away from the charts. So have a happy new year. I'll see you guys next year. And until then, safe trading.